Hello everybody, today I want to speak with you about very important things, which is when you decide to build a house in Lago Atitlan, Guatemala, what are the steps you have to follow. So I'm Armand Boissy, your real estate agent expert in Lago Atitlan, Guatemala. If you want to be updated on new listing and knowledge about investing, buying, building in Lago Atitlan, so follow me. So you find a beautiful piece of land and you want to build a house. That's great. Now you are going to bump into the system in Guatemala, and which is composed of different aspects. The first one, what I'm going to say, is what the law requires you to do. And I want to make a parenthesis on that. You will find people around the lake, people who have been living here too long time, that will tell you you don't have to do anything, you just build and that's it. Well, that's not what the law requires. So if you are coming to invest in this country or any country, I think the first thing is to be able to identify the laws you have to respect. If you don't speak Spanish, you can help assess yourself with a lawyer who speaks English and explain you the steps, but also you can contract professional company who have a well-known name in the area in order to, and a proven record of building, so you can be help and have the proper advice you need in order to make a good investment. Because you don't want to have something be built and suddenly somebody show up, the Ministry of Environment, the CONAP, all these names, and that they're going to ask you some papers that you don't have, and it has been done that some buildings have been to be destroyed. That's very important to respect the law, as we all do. And this said, let's start first. So when you buy a piece of land in the lake, you have to understand that you are buying something in a protected area. A protected area, it's a place which has a special set of rules, and it's managed by the Consejo Nacional de Áreas Protegidas, which is also shortened to CONAP. So CONAP is the one in charge to administrate area in terms of everything has to do with fauna, trees, flora, and the way the human articulates their activity in this space. It's managed by the CONAP. The other entity, which is very important, is the MARN, Ministerio de Ambiente y de Recursos Naturales, MARN in the Ministry of Environment. You have also INAB, which is in charge of the trees. You have the villages, municipal town. This is the different institution you have comply with. It's a process. First of all, it's not because you see houses everywhere that forcibly you can build everywhere. More and more, they are looking into potential danger like slides, mudslide, rock sides, steepness, in order to validate if a house can be built or not. You know, you can think you would like to have a house on this beautiful cliff, but maybe it's not adequate in terms of security. When you have the piece of land, you contract first an architect in order to put together the concept of your house. Second, you contract a civil engineer in order to calculate the structure and how to build your house. Then you have to make an environmental study impact. Some villages, they won't give you your building license unless you have this environmental study impact approved. When you do your environmental study impact, you have to hire an engineer. I work with architects and engineers that are already authorized to make environmental study impact, but it's a special qualities and specialties. So this engineer is going to make this environmental study impact, which is kind of a big book, and it's where it's compiled all the information on your house. You will have the drawing of your house, the description of the house, how it's going to get its water, electricity, and this is basically how the house is going to insert itself into the environment. If you need to make some security wall and all these things in order to protect the house, how you're going to treat your water, because around the lake we don't have sewage systems that you can hook it up as easily. And it's presented to first the Ministry of Environment, which transfer it to CONAP to have in its opinion. The CONAP will do a visit to your place and make a report. Basically, the CONAP will say you have so many trees when native of the area, so much description of the land, maybe eventually if you have issues with the land. And they will also make recommendation in terms of when your house is built. It's very important. The CONAP insists that in the garden we plant, we have to have native species. So yes, it's a little bit frustrating for the ones who come here and want these beautiful lawns, green lawns, and lots of people bring palms in their property. Palm are not from this altitude, palm are lowland, the coastal area. And because you think you own the property, you can do what you want and make the garden you would like. Yes, because they won't come and check on it and fine you if you don't respect their recommendation. But at the same time, you have to think that if you have too much lawn, green lawn, if you have a species who are very in need of humidity, everything will grow on the beach, the palm or thing like that, they need a lot of water. So you will be pumping most probably from the lake, and to keep it green, and it's maybe not the best choice in terms of ecological footprint. Also, to have this kind of property with bigger green lawns where everything is standardized, gardening, you create a little ecosystem where there is no wildlife, or wildlife cannot insert in between. And that's one of the big things we should be conscious and aware of, is when we create this beautiful garden, we create clusters of a specific kind of species like we like, but the rest of the fauna and of the lake basically cannot find space to insert into it. It starts with the fence of the property. When you fence the property and you don't leave space for the animals to get in and out, and animals I'm meaning raccoon, I'm meaning armadillo, mapache, all these animals you don't see, but there are fox also. We have fox that needs to go to the lake to drink and don't find space, and would like to have also an environment where they could hide and populate and do their things, inserted into all these gardens. So that's something it's important to think about it. The CONAP make its opinion, send it back to the MARN. The MARN doesn't make a visit to the property or to the future site, and the MARN is going to study basically the technical part of your project and basically where you get electricity, how you dispose your water and your garbage, and make a recommendation, and you get a license, environmental license, which allow you to build, and you have to pay a bond to the government. So armed with this project, with this package and this resolution, you go to the city council or you pay for a building license. Building license could be very expensive. It depends on the municipalities. There is no standard rules around the lake. All the municipalities decide for themselves. Some are very expensive in terms of charging a percentage on the total cost. Some are more flat fee, and so that's could be a big post in your budget. And also some have a price difference if you are foreigners or local, which is kind of discriminatory. So when you have your building license and environmental study impact, then you can start to build. You cannot technically build before that. If you're going to cut trees on your property, you should get a license from INAB, which is the Institut National of Agrobosque, and they would come and they would say, you can cut. If you cut this one, you have to compensate with this. And that gives you the validity that your house will be legally built and comply with all the current rules. When also part of the CONAP, when it's receive your documentation, if your property is in the 200 meter of the OCRET rules institution on the lakeshore, then they will ask you to get the OCRET contract. So it's now if we are talking in terms of time, it can take anything between 6, 8, 12 months, because first you would have to get the OCRET contract, which now take it up to a year. Second, you can have already the pre-approved OCRET and start to do the rest, but it takes at least now on these days a year before you can build. Okay, what's happened when you are built and you are installed in your house, and what are your obligations from there? Most probably, this institution will come and check on what you have been building. On all my experience here and the house I build, we never have a post visit or somebody. We don't have a house inspection to validate and said yes, you build it properly and it's all good. There's no inspector code here, so it's this part which is a certain obligation, but at the same time there is no follow up. But one thing you have to comply is whatever water come out of your house has to comply with Reglamento de Aguas Grises y Residuales, which is some you have to analyze between when you have your septic or your biodigester, whatever system you have to treat your gray water or black water, you have to have a box post that you can do analysis of the water to see if you comply with the level required by the government. It's very easy to comply because the houses in sea are not so productive of toxicity. That would be a little business or industry. So for today, that's what I wanted to share with you. If you have any question, please put it in the comments, like the video, and see you next one. Thank you.